Hi, this is Carol and welcome to my studio. This painting is Abstract 2. I named it Paint Me Bright. I hope you enjoy it. I'm using a heavy coat of a mixture of white gesso and heavy gel at a 1:1 ratio. The next step is to use the wrapper that the canvas came in. I crinkled it up and I'm just matting it down all over the canvas. I let it dry overnight. Now I'm starting my painting, putting on my base coats, and I'm staying somewhat with the pastel colors. I began painting with a mixture of titanium white and turquoise blue. I'm going to keep the first coat pretty much very pastel. Remember now, the canvas itself has a rough texture to it from the gel. So I'm having to put a heavy application of this first coat in order to get all the way through the entire area of the canvas. That there is pretty much like a light rose color. Throughout this painting, I also use a spatula, and I love the effect that I'm getting with the spatula and that rough surface of the canvas. I've got close-ups of this painting at the end of the video, and you could observe what it looks like when I use the spatula. A very, very nice effect for an abstract. I'm putting in some layering of the violet. I'm keeping in mind while I paint this abstract that I want it to be very bright. I'm trying to be selective with my colors. I don't use any red in this painting, but I do use like a dark magenta and also a bright pink. My colors in this abstract are pretty much true to the value and the pigment coming out of the tube. I'm not diluting it out too much with a mixture of acrylic glaze that I usually use in my paintings. For this painting, I want to have the look of the paint opaque, very true to color. In other words, not transparent. I start to paint in some of the forms that I want in this painting. However, I don't want to make them stand out. And I also know that I don't want these forms to be very, very significant in the painting. I want them to be more or less part of the background. In other words, to see them, you have to pretty much look closely and study the painting. The rest of my painting is pretty self-explanatory just by what I'm doing. So why don't we just sit back and watch me paint? And I will explain anything I see that may be important, or explain some of the techniques that I use. I was working with the burgundy and the cobalt blue and putting that here and there throughout the painting. I'm always keeping in mind my color harmony, the balance of the colors on the canvas. And right now, I think this is pretty nice. I'm adding in some defined lines. I want to make sure that I'm putting in some dark colors in the center of this painting. And I will keep the outside of the painting pastel. I am going to be doing a series of 10 abstracts in the freeform category, always using my color harmony in mind. And this is my abstract number 2. So please subscribe when you get to the end of this video, and you'll get notification when number 3 is up and ready. I'll be painting that in a few days. Here I'm using a mixture of sap green and cadmium yellow medium. And I'm just putting in a dash of that mixture here and there to bring the canvas a little bit more to life. I think that green is going to make it pop. And I do tone it down when I come back and use some of my blues. That particular blue that I'm putting on is the cobalt blue right from the tube. I'm adding some depth to the painting by putting on the carbon black, and I'm using the spatula for that. Now that's not a red going in, that's basically a burgundy. Kind of like a dark magenta. And the fun of my painting is always adding a dash of my titanium white. I put that in as an overlay on some of the areas of the painting here and there. And that's like a sky blue that I'm adding. Okay, I believe I'm just about finished with this painting. This is a picture of the painting on the wall with the spotlight on it. Please keep in mind the roughness of the canvas. Thanks again for being here, watching me paint. I hope you enjoyed it.